Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and this is Planetary Annihilation. I'm back to try out another AI skirmish, and this time I'm going to try it out with 2 planets. So let's get straight into it. I'm still only going to go for the 1 AI opponent at the moment. Maybe in a future battle I'll have more opponents. Let's wait for the system to start generating itself. So there we can see there's 2 planets over there in our system, and I'm going to change my avatar over to that one. Okay, so the game has generated the 2 planets right next door to each other. Usually they can be on almost opposite sides of the orbit on the sun, but basically what we've got is the main planet and a moon, and it would appear that I cannot select a starting location on the moon, even though there are some resources there. Let's hope that the enemy AI can start over there on the moon, otherwise it would kind of defeat the purpose of having 2 planets here. So I'm going to start in that location. Now, as before, the best way to start out is to start manufacturing as quick as possible, and I've got a vehicle plant here and I've set some fabricators to be constructed on it as soon as the building is complete. And once this factory is done, I'm going to get my commander to build a 2nd factory, as he builds them so damn fast. And any moment now we should have a fabricator arrive. We'll start putting some attack units on here. This one can attack land and airs, so that gives us good overall coverage. And of course the first fabricator needs to go out and start looking for some metal resources, because without that we won't be building anymore. And now it's time to build the power plants, and again I'll get the commander to do that because he's the fastest at constructing. And we want as many resource gatherers as I can possibly get. I'll probably send 3 or 4 of them out, and once I've done that I'll start building another construction plant, probably for bots or something like that. Now if we are lucky and the enemy AI is on the other planet, it's going to be a little while until he actually shows his face over here, because he's going to have to gather enough resources to construct an orbital platform before he can send any units over this way at all. If we do see him within the next few minutes, it means he's probably located on this planet as well as me, which means the battle will be that much quicker. But it will still be fairly intense, so at least it will be fun. And yeah, that just goes to show how fast the enemy commander can construct things. He's nearly built all 4 power plants already. I'm going to build a pelter here just to give me some defense, just in case the enemy AI is nearby. I don't want him destroying my factory straight out the blue, even though looking at my units, they are building up quite nicely already. We need a storage unit here, so let's go for that. Yeah, I know there's insufficient metal. That's why I've got so many fabricators going out and harvesting. And he can go and get some more for us. So that's 4 of them out there getting the metal. And that pelter is already complete. After this storage unit, I just need an energy storage unit, which I'll put there. And then we can start building some more construction factories. Well, these 2 are sitting idly by doing nothing, so they can build another defense platform for me. What we got there, 8, 9 tanks ready to defend us, and 1 more fabricator already out. Enemy sighted already. I guess there's a little scout over there. I suspect that means the enemy AI is indeed locally on this planet, but not to worry, we're already into the battle, so we'll continue anyway. Let's start building some more factories. So those are bot factories which will start to give us a good mix of unit types, and I'm just going to keep building pelters here because sooner or later the enemy is going to start sending over a small army to keep harassing me. That's one thing the enemy AI does seem to do in this game. It just seems to constantly harass, and if you haven't got a defense force set up early in the game, that will make it pretty much impossible for you to get going in any viable form at all. They'll just destroy anything you build as soon as you build it, and meanwhile they'll be building up their own army to a relatively great height. So I'm going to build some air factories as well, which will give us some air support units and give us an even better variety of units, and a few more pelters as well. You can never have too many pelters. I did get a good recommendation from someone after I released the previous video of Total Annihilation, and that was to build a radar installation, as that would allow my defense turrets here to have a much better visibility pretty much of anything that comes into range. So I'll be sure to do that in short order. And as you can see, the enemy is already sending over small little attack forces to keep harassing me, and they've already destroyed my resource collectors there, which is a little bit of a nuisance, but I've got enough metal and enough units to rebuild them all. But if you can imagine, if I didn't have any defense force already, even with just that small number of units is sending over, I would already be in a bit of a mess. I've had situations before where I've only got 1 or 2 factories and not really enough units to defend them, and straight away just 2 or 3 units from the enemy destroys those factories, and every time I start constructing them again they get destroyed before construction is complete. I'm going to send these units over this way a little bit now so they can protect this side of my base, as it's clear that the enemy wants to keep attacking from this particular side. Once you get going, it's actually possible to build units quite fast. It really all is about those first few minutes in the game and getting things set up quickly and in the correct order before the enemy has a chance to respond. We need another energy storage unit. I'll put that there and let the commander do that. And right, I'm going to actually group these fabricators together and bind them to one of my keys, and then we can build an orbital platform. It seems unlikely that we're going to have to go to that other moon now, as the enemy AI is here, but I think I can build some space units that are capable of doing bombing runs. If I remember correctly, I haven't had a chance to use space units much, but at the moment I've got plenty of resources to spare, and I've got a good number of fabricators, so it's not going to be a waste. At least I don't feel it's going to be a waste. Have we got enough units being built? It's always a good idea to keep on top of your factories, because if the queue runs dry and they're not constructed anymore, you're actually wasting time. But yeah, the army is building up rather nicely here. We could probably do with a few more pelters, I suppose. But first, let's send out some more resource harvesters. Oh, and there we go. So, what are we going to send up first? I think I'll send up a construction facility up there, which will allow me to build units directly in space. So, that's been queued and being constructed. Oh, I selected the wrong units there. I want the fabricators. There we go. I'll bind them to another key, I think. That just needs a little bit of repairing now, or finishing off. A little bit more resources. I think we can never have too much of that. And let's just put these fabricators into a larger group, as there's a few more now sitting there. Right, let's have a look. We could do with a few more energy plants, I think. But there's no real room up the top for them. I want to try and keep them in a defensible position, so I'm going to put them down here I thought I saw something explode in there for a second. I was hesitant, thinking it was perhaps my imagination. So the AI is now coming from the almost the opposite side of my base, but it's not going to do them any good, as my defences are now pretty good. And look how fast these pelters get constructed with that amount of fabricators on them. Very nice. I think I'll get them to build a few more of them once we got the factories done, that is. The power plants, should I say. And they're not going to take very long at all either. Look how fast that's going. Let's bind these units into a group as well, and they can move down here. The enemy AI is starting to attack in slightly greater numbers, but still not really anywhere near enough to be a significant threat to me. Those pelters really do come into their own. I find them one of the best turrets to actually use. Very, very good. They have a huge range on them. They're very destructive. The only downside is that the way the mortars fire up and over, they can actually be a little bit slow to hit the target, which can sometimes give them enough time to do a bit of damage. Right, what have we got? An orbital defense platform. You know, that sounds like a not half bad idea. Where do we want it? We want it so it can cover my entire base. So there looks like a good option. Right, before I forget again, let's go for the radar installation. If I can find it. Orbital and deep space radar. Oh, I don't really want it in an undefended position, but my construction area is a little bit crowded at the moment. Oh look, immediately there's some enemy AI over there which has already been destroyed, and here come a bunch more. So just look how much damage a single mortar does. There's two fire in there, but they really don't get much of a chance to get in range. Looks like the radar does increase the range of those mortars, so that's certainly a good thing. The tanks didn't even get a chance to attack them. They went out there, but that was that. I will put another pelter there though and expand the radius of my defensive capabilities. So basically at this point, let's put a couple more factories down. Yeah, basically at this point it's just a case of defending my base whilst I increase the number of units I've got. You can see that number is coming along quite nicely. I'm getting quite a large army, but I'm going to still keep building up my defensive position here. Bot factory ready. Okay, now I don't think I set any units on that, and this factory is also sitting there. The orbital building platform's sitting there with nothing doing, so we'll build up some transportation units again. I don't think there's going to be any reason to have to go to another planet, but there's always the chance that the enemy commander is on that other planet by now, and so I might as well get ready in case that event does happen. Even though it appears the enemy AI did start off on this planet, it's quite possible he is located on the other planet by now, so I'll get ready for that eventuality. But he still keep sending these little skirmishers over, doesn't he? Not that they're doing him a lot of good, but they're just trying to stay out of range, aren't they? And not doing a very good job of it. This is an orbital construction platform I just placed up there, and that will allow me to build more units up in space. And now let's set some bots for construction at these factories. I should have done that when they were being built and it slipped my mind. We go for some of each type. I think I may also build some repair bots as well. They're always handy to have in your army. They're the ones. No, yep, them. Let's go for 100 or so of them. Or more. That'd do nicely. What else have we got going on here then? We got a load of fabricators sitting around and doing nothing. I'm going to keep building the pelters. I could probably keep building factories actually at this point and have a lot more of them. Look at the amount of metals I've got at the top there. My energy's balanced out quite nicely as well, although it is slowly starting to get used up now, so I could probably do with a few more energy plants. There we go. We'll let the other group of fabricators build them. Yeah, then look at the energy draining down now. That's all the construction I've got going on there. It's probably causing that drain. My metal's also starting to get used up, so I might send out some more fabricators to gain some more resources, although I would imagine that by now most of the resource nodes have actually been gathered up. Let's put some units on the orbital platform up here. Let's see what else. Where was my fabricator plant? Yep, we put some more fabricators out. Not that I need too many more, but I'm going to send a few more out to do resource gathering. And these guys can continue with the defense building. I wonder how the enemy AI is getting on. It doesn't seem to be bothering us too much. I think with the next game I will go for 2 enemy AIs, or maybe 3, and possibly 3 planets. That's going to give us an almost certainty chance of having an enemy combatant on an alien planet rather than us all being located on this single planet. The intent was indeed to get a game where it was spread across 2 planets, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be playing out that way at all. And look at these number of skirmishers. They are starting to increase in numbers. I love the way they start fleeing when my tanks start moving toward them. And look at the number of mortars heading out toward them now. They're actually holding up quite well, aren't they? They keep coming in for a little skirmish attack and then move in again. Let's have a few more factories as well. Oh, that explosion was a little bit close, wasn't it? Sometimes when the explosions go off like that, I start wondering if I've lost a building or something. I want to build another space dock up here, but I can't see where the construction platform is. It's one of these, I'm sure. Not that one. Come on, which one of you is it? There it is. Orbital factory, that's what we want. We'll have another one of them and place it right near the other one, and that can construct a bunch more units for us. And we've got some new fabricators sitting there, and those are the ones that are going to go out and collect me some more resources, if there are indeed any more out there to be found. I should probably actually check, but let's have those bots being built. Again, I've missed out on a few moments there. That could be critical in a more aggressive game or with multiple AIs, and it certainly would be critical in a multiplayer game. Missing out on building units there even for a few minutes can make a huge change to the outcome of the game, as your army would be a lot smaller than it otherwise would be. We want some more factories, and we might as well have another pelter. Oh, I see my energy is getting very low indeed. I'll probably get the AI, the computer, nagging at me in a minute. So I best build a few more. Hopefully 4's enough. Oh, what are these? Those colours looked a little bit strange to me there for a minute. I don't think they're anything to be concerned about though. Let's get some more resource going. I mean, look, all the resource nodes seem to be occupied. I should probably send some tanks out or something with the fabricators, and they would then destroy the enemy resource collectors. Oh, I'm going to build some more of these, but look at that rather large army coming over. It's still not a fully fledged army. The enemy is obviously not prepared for a full out assault on me, but his skirmishes are starting to get ever bigger. I'm going to put another orbital factory up there. Yeah, these guys are starting to be a little bit more of a threat. They're not being immediately obliterated as soon as they appear in my vicinity now, are they? Well, I'm getting to the point where I think we're ready to attack the enemy base, and in fact I've probably overcooked it a little bit. The army's probably bigger than it actually needs to be. Let's just finish up a few things here and I'll start looking around for that enemy base. Makes me think I haven't actually got any scouts. Not to worry, I'm going to bind my entire army to a hotkey and let's see where we can send them. Right, there's a little pink ship there and an enemy resource thing. You know, earlier on, just over at the edge on the horizon, I thought I could see the enemy base. I didn't pay much attention to it then. I just made a mental note that I would go to it and having a look at it in a minute, but right now I can't see it at all. It's possible that it's located somewhere in this rather vast fog of war. So let's move a ship over there and see if they can locate it for me. Where is it? Oh, there's some pinkies and there's a base. I knew I'd seen it. And here comes my army. The Air Force arrives first, and these poor guys were expecting to be able to do a skirmish on my base, but they've met an unexpected surprise and now they're gone. So let's line up my army here. We get them to go into formation just outside the range of the enemy, although he seems to be sending another attack force around via the other side. Yeah, they're not going to walk into my units, but that's not a problem. My base is well enough defended to defend against that relatively small number of enemy units there, if indeed they are coming toward me. Come on then guys, hurry up and get in formation. The bots are particularly slow, as you may have noticed. The tanks are actually already there, but they are lining up quite nicely. Look at that. Let's build a few more units here. We'll have some Avengers, I think. Always be prepared, although I don't think I'm going to need them. Build them anyway. Am I losing some units there? They're destroying my fabricators, aren't they? Never mind. Let's get in here. And the enemy base is a reasonable size, but it's not at all on the level of what mine is. Let's see if we can locate the enemy commander here somewhere. He must be here somewhere. They've got a few turrets that are doing a reasonable amount of damage to me, but... oh, there he is. Got him. Walking backwards. Let's see if a shockwave takes my units out this time. Bang. Yep. And that's that. Along with my front line of enemies. Front line of units, should I say. So that was a rather easy battle, and unfortunately it didn't extend across 2 planets. So next time I'm going to be sure to increase the number of AI enemies. I'll go for at least 2, maybe 3, and I'll also up the number of planets. And hopefully that should be a bit more of an involved game. For now, let's just finish up by having a quick look at the game summary here. For the most part, at least from those stats, it was fairly even. He wasted a lot of energy, but my production was much higher than his. So it would seem for the most part I generally performed quite a bit better than him. except for the end there where I lost a load of units to the explosion of the enemy commander. There's probably a way around that, maybe using air units to destroy him. So I think we'll leave it there for this particular battle. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. This has been Obsidian Ant, signing off.